You've probably seen a map like this floating around social media in the last 24 hours or so, showing tons of snow across the Ohio Valley and through portions of the northeastern states as we go past Thanksgiving. The chances are, though, we're not going to see quite as much as what it's showing, and there's a lot of hype out there for a system that may not produce a lot. Hey there, friends. I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. It is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're just finding this channel, I focus on Kentucky weather. I'm a broadcast meteorologist turned media arts teacher. I've been working professionally since 2008, and I've been tracking the weather across Kentucky all my life. And I like sharing my thoughts and opinions on it here on Facebook, YouTube, and a couple other social media platforms. And really passionate about sharing my enthusiasm for weather with folks, and also really passionate about media arts and video production and graphic design, and showing kids how to make a career in that. So those worlds kind of intersected a little bit today with something that debuted, and I'm excited to share it with you. You may notice down below me I have a little bit of a different overlay than normal if you're a regular viewer of the channel. This is Kentucky Mesonet data coming from Laurel County. Yes, the Kentucky Mesonet now has a site in Laurel County, and it's in my backyard at work. Yeah, it's at the Laurel County Center for Innovation. We have a fully automated weather station out there now, currently run by the folks at the Kentucky Mesonet. They put it in, they are operating it, they are monitoring temperature, dew point, humidity, wind speed, gust, direction, precipitation, soil moisture, soil temperature, solar radiation. This is some really awesome data that this site has collected. And the goal of the Mesonet is to eventually have at least one Mesonet site in every county in Kentucky. So we have a high density network of real time data that updates every 5 minutes during severe weather. So this data is very, very critical in severe weather forecasting, in winter weather forecasting, in flash flood scenarios. You can really get quick, real time, high quality data about what's happening on the ground. A lot of the Mesonet sites have a webcam. You can see the one for the Laurel County site down below. So I'm excited to start integrating that into some of my content. As you guys know, I like to focus on the weather in central and eastern Kentucky. I'm based out of London, so this is in my backyard. There, you saw it just updated right now. Currently 54.5 degrees Fahrenheit at 10:45 p.m. So pretty cool. Excited about that, and I'll be sharing more about that. But big shout out to the folks at the Kentucky Mesonet, and for the folks at Laurel County Schools for working together to make this happen. I think this is going to be a great thing for Laurel County. It's not just used in weather forecasting. It's not just used in climate records. This data can be used in the agricultural industry. It can be used by logistics companies. There's a lot of good that can come from this data. So really cool stuff happening here in Laurel County, and happy to have it in my backyard at work. Now, going to radar Omega, you can see we got a stationary boundary, the same one we've been talking about the last couple of days. It's now sunk a little bit farther down to the south. You see showers and thunderstorms and a few severe thunderstorm warnings back into Oklahoma, and that front is going to lift back to the north tomorrow. So here's how the forecast plays out. You can see down below me tomorrow, we start off with some dense fog once again. Probably not quite as thick as this morning, but it's going to be on the thick side out there, especially because there's a lot of low-level moisture still hanging around. We go on into the afternoon hours. That's when we watch those showers really break out. Let's break it down for you hour by hour here on the HRRR model. You'll see this is noon east or noon central, 1 o'clock Eastern. You've got storms breaking out between Bowling Green and Paducah. So Western Kentucky, you'll see the rain first. It will push eastward throughout the day. I'd say we'll start to see a chance of that around the I-75 corridor, 4 or 5 o'clock, and become a little bit more widespread during the evening and overnight hours. And then we'll see another impulse of energy roll in on Friday as that area of low pressure rolls in with the second wave on that system. And there's probably going to be about a 50 to 75 mile band wide where you see 1 to 3 inches of rain. In fact, down around Paducah, 3 to 4 inches of rain possible over the next 48 hours. We may have some flash flood concerns to deal with on Friday because of this system. That is something we will watch out for. Now, let's go a little bit further into the long range and show you what happens. This is using the European model. You'll notice those storms continue Friday night into Saturday morning. I think by Saturday afternoon, most of the state dries out, although we're probably still seeing a few clouds in southern and eastern Kentucky. Sunday should be dry. Monday, we start the day dry. Late in the day, a few showers break out in western Kentucky. I think better chances of rain for most of the state on Tuesday, especially in the morning and early afternoon across central and eastern Kentucky. And by the time all is said and done between now and next Tuesday, according to the European model, we're probably going to see 2 to 3 inches of rain area wide. Few spots may go a little less, few spots may go a little bit more, but a general 2 to 3 inch rainfall seems to be in order from these next couple of systems set to move in. Also, we're going to see temperatures dip as we head towards Thanksgiving. We've been talking about this for a couple of days now. It looks like we are going to see some kind of big trough set up over the eastern half of the U.S. You'll have to excuse me. My allergies are kicking my butt tonight, so I'm having to hydrate a little bit more than normal. But you'll notice we go from the 60s the next several days to 50s on Thanksgiving, 40s, and possibly 30s. Now, there's still some questions exactly how this system plays out. But if you've been watching along on social media the last couple of days, you've probably seen some pretty crazy models being thrown out there, some snow forecasts, some people that are actually degreed meteorologists showing off maps like this. This was yesterday's GFS run from 12Z, so that's the morning run of the GFS yesterday, and it was showing a pretty good thumper of the snow across most of Kentucky, and people went bananas with it. A bunch of weather enthusiasts started sharing it. Few meteorologists shared it. I just sat back and shook my head because we go to the next run of it 6 hours later. It's showing nothing in Kentucky. The run after that, nothing. Little bit showing up on the 6Z run this morning. 12Z run has everything north of us. Little bit showing up on the 18Z run, and the 0Z run is just now starting. But the idea is here, yeah, some of the models are showing it, but it's hardly locked in. We are more than a week away still. Anytime you're in that 7 to 10 day window, we are not looking at individual model runs, or at least if you're trying to forecast in a somewhat reliable manner, you're looking at ensemble forecasts, not deterministic, and you are looking at patterns, not individual forecasts. You're looking for trends. Now, what I can say is it does look like a big trough is going to dive into the eastern half of the United States as we go into next week. I feel pretty confident saying that. That's something we've seen quite a bit of. I can show you that real quick on the European model. Let me switch that out real quick. We'll just take a look at the North American continent. Bring up the heights and winds, 300 millibars. And this is something we've been seeing for several days and even going on a week now, is some kind of big trough diving into the eastern half of the United States on Black Friday, Saturday after that, somewhere in that time frame. This is just one model's take, but we've been seeing that signal consistently for a couple of days now. Now, what that tells me is we are going to be colder than average Black Friday and that weekend in Kentucky and surrounding areas. Will we have some kind of potent storm system come through here Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Potentially, with that big of a dip in the jet, we could see some kind of interesting storm system get together. Is there even a chance of snow? Absolutely. But that is one model's take of it. At that range, in that 7 to 10 day range, I like looking at what's called ensemble forecast models. And I'm going to show you some of those right now. So the ensemble models take the base model. So in this case, we've got the European model. And then it runs variations. In fact, this one runs, I believe it's 51 variations on the baseline European model, and then averages out the output. That gives you kind of a more most likely scenario. So here is that most likely snow forecast for the next week and a half, total snow through December 3rd. And we can even take a look at the trends in those. And the average, not much. Throw the old 10 to 1 snowfall ratio on there. Throw the trend. I mean, you're talking the average is a ½ inch to an inch. That's not out of the realm of possibility. We see something similar on the GFS ensembles. And the National Weather Service even uses this tool called the Blend models. And it takes a whole bunch of models and averages them out. So that gives you kind of a most likely scenario. So are we going to see some snow after Thanksgiving here in central and eastern Kentucky? I wouldn't say no. I would say there is a possibility. Can we nail down the forecast with any kind of degree of certainty a little over a week out? Heck no. Snow forecasting in Kentucky is hard enough 24 hours before a storm system hits. There are tons of things that go into play. The track and intensity of the low pressure. How much cold air do we have? How much moisture do we have? There's a lot that goes into it. And even up to the last minute, we're still trying to nail down the details. And with a great degree of uncertainty a lot of times. You mean to tell me you believe in something 10 days out when we have a hard time sometimes figuring it out 24 hours before it happens? People that are posting that, they're looking for clicks. It's all about the hype. It's all about catching the algorithm. It's a part of the day and age we're in, folks. But that's why it's important to trust professional, local meteorologists, local weather enthusiasts who are doing things the right way. They're not just hitting the hype machine, trying to get easy money from clicks, because yes, there is money involved for a lot of these YouTube pages. It's easier now to get monetized than ever before. And just in full disclosure, I am monetized, so I do get money for views. But I'm also being responsible with how I present the weather, because I don't want to be a hype artist. I don't want to have the cry wolf syndrome. I don't want to be part of the problem. There's too much fear and false information in the world today. I want to give you guys an expert opinion and something I've studied most of my life, something I've done professionally now for more than 15 years, and something I am deeply passionate about. And for folks that are just throwing out a snowfall forecast 10 days, 9 days, 8 days before it happens, they're just looking for easy money. They're not doing it for the right reasons. So just something to think about, something to be aware of, and something I want you guys to consider as you choose who to get your weather information from. There's a lot of great meteorologists locally. We've got fantastic National Weather Service offices in Jackson, Louisville, Paducah, down in Knoxville, at Morristown, over in Charleston, West Virginia. I've known these folks. I've worked with a lot of these folks. We've got a lot of good people in the weather enterprise around here. Don't go listening to a bunch of hype artists and snowball scammers. And I'm not even saying all digital meteorologists or the social media junkies are that way. There are some great digital weather content creators in this state and in this region. Kudos to you guys for doing what you're doing. Thank you for helping pave the way for me trying to do this on this platform too. So to the Ryan Halls out there, to the Georges over at WNK, thank you guys for what you do. Sincerely. All right, y'all. That's it for me. We're coming up on 15 minutes. That's me blabbing way too long. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you like what I do, if you want to find my opinion on what the weather's doing in Kentucky, hit that follow or that subscribe button. It does help. Not going to say it doesn't, but I'm going to be responsible with the information I'm sharing and give you my expert opinion on it. And right now, my opinion says it is too soon to tell exactly what's going to happen. I can say pretty confidently right now, a lot of the data is trending cold and potentially active after Thanksgiving. But that's all I'm willing to say right now. Anything past that, a little bit of foolishness. So we'll watch out for that. We'll see how that plays out. And once we do start getting into that range tomorrow and Friday, where we're now a week out, we then can start painting a little bit of a clearer picture. So keep checking back in. Thanks so much for stopping by, and until next time, take care.